Hello and good morning, Edmonton. This is Rekha from On Location with RG, and you are joining me from Replenish YEG in the Ritchie area, and probably one of my favorite places to go for housewares and honestly any kind of skincare, and my favorite, the laundry detergent. So why don't we go on in and talk to the owners of Replenish YEG?
I got it.
Hi. How are you doing today?
We're good.
So I'm great, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. This is Megan. She is one of the owners and operators of Replenish YEG. And honestly, probably one of the easiest people to talk to about what you're looking for, especially when you're first starting your journey.
For sure.
Can you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and how you started Replenish YEG in the first place?
Yeah, for sure. So my background, interestingly enough, is actually in speech language pathology. So I did a diploma at McEwen to be a speech language pathology assistant. So I was doing that, traveling all over the city, working with different kids with different kind of delays and disorders. And at the time, my husband had just started his company, and I was very jealous of his ability to kind of manage his time and his schedule, that creative outlet. So we would often kind of sit around at dinner time and talk about like these different business ideas. And I had so many, and none of them were good. And then one day I kind of thought, like, what about a refillery? Because it was something that I had tried to access in the past. And there were a couple places in Edmonton that you could refill here and there. But I found the community around it was a little bit inaccessible. I didn't really understand what I was supposed to do. I couldn't find the products I wanted. I took a look around. I found there wasn't really anyone doing it exclusively. So the day I had the idea, actually I came up with the name. I got an email address. I incorporated a company the next week. And like before I had really done anything, the co-owner, Corinne, had actually come by for drinks, and I was saying like, oh, I had this idea for a company, and it was going to be this. And I think initially she honestly thought it was like some sort of multi-level marketing niche because she was kind of looking at me like this. But once it clicked what I was talking about, I didn't even have to ask her. She just told me she was going to do it with me.
Oh my God, I love it.
Which was great because I was scared to do it alone, and honestly, I didn't really have the skills to do it alone. So once we decided to do it together, we went and found space, which was a very sad little tiny spot in the back of an industrial building.
Which I visited
If anyone
once.
visited us, it was a little sad to start, but we appreciate our early adopters. They got us to where we are now. So we started there. We were open on weekends only. We were continuing to work our regular jobs. Corinne has her master's in library and information sciences, so she was working as a school librarian at the time.
Oh, wow.
So she continued with that during the week. I continued with the speech pathology during the week. And from there, it just kind of took off. I mean, we hit COVID about 3 months after we opened, so that was not ideal. But we kind of worked through that. We did local deliveries. We drove all over the city and surrounding areas and did this kind of like milkman style where we would drop off your container and pick up your old one. And at that time it was like no contact, right? Because no one really knew what to do. So we did that. And while we were doing that, we were looking around. We found this space in the Ritchie area. This is actually an old house. It was only a house for about 10 years in the 50s, and then it was actually a taxidermist that was in this spot for a while in the 60s. And then it went through like kind of various like different kind of white collar professional, like real estate agents and draftsmen and stuff like that. So we renovated. Lucky enough, we had like beautiful floors to work with, but everything else was kind of a mess. So we did that, and we opened in July of that year. So it was about 6 months from when we first opened in January to having this full-time space, and we left our other jobs and, jumped in with both feet, and now we're here. And so far, so good. It's been about 3 years. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I didn't even realize how long you guys had been open for, because I've been here, I think during the pandemic when you were finally kind of doing things, and I've picked product up from here as well, because one of my first tries at, I guess like sustainability was probably with dryer wool balls and
yeah.
trying to do the laundry sheets,
Yes.
the terrible laundry sheets
Yes,
that
I
dissolve.
call them laundry jerky because essentially they're just dehydrated laundry soap, right?
Oh,
That is
yeah.
now in like these physical sheets. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so great for travel. I've used them whenever I was on a road trip or anything like that. And I actually used it quite a bit for my delicates. But honestly, after that, I was like, I got to try skincare. And I've tried moisturizer. My favorite's probably the lotion bars. Those have been absolutely amazing, especially for travel. And they smell so good. And honestly, I just felt great about coming in and trying something that was sustainable and learning about, just trying to be as close to zero waste as possible. Can you tell us a little bit about zero waste for people who don't know anything about it?
Yeah, for sure. So kind of the zero waste ethos would be that you strive to create as little waste as possible. And I think what's important to consider and remember is that zero waste is not possible. There is no such thing as zero waste, but we can still strive for it. It's like world peace, right?
Yeah.
It's not that simple. So I think making sure that you're not putting these kind of really strict regulations on yourself that like, I will consume nothing, I will create nothing. Because you're a human, of course, you're going to create waste. But any steps you can take to reduce that waste. So in our case, we are a refillery, which means that you can bring existing containers here and fill them with kind of cleaning or personal care products, which means that you're eliminating the waste that comes along with every plastic bottle of shampoo, conditioner, dish soap, whatever that you're buying. The other thing you can do with zero waste is trying to buy things that are infinitely reusable. So there's a lot of disposable items that really don't need to be disposable. So when you think about things like shaving razors, trying to think of other ones we have in the store. Interestingly enough, containers for floss, those are plastic. We have reusable containers for floss that can be refilled. So anything that you're using that is single use, if you can replace it with something infinitely reusable, if you can reuse your single-use items, because a lot of them can be reused, or if you can look for options that are packaged in compostable materials. And when we say compostable, not industrially compostable. So those coffee cups and things like that, like compostable plastic, cannot be composted. Anywhere in Edmonton or the surrounding area, our facility does not accept them. And from any of the research I've done, I actually can't find anywhere in Canada or the northern United States that is able to accept and recycle compostable plastics. So,
Really?
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I've honestly only ever thought of like the idea of compostable or I would say even like biodegradable as something that you would put straight into the compost. And a lot of these plastics I didn't really believe were compostable in the first place. I was like, this is such a hard material. And I didn't really want to experiment in my backyard.
Fair enough.
Because like you never know. I mean, like what if, you get someone's dog digs it up, and starts chewing on it, and you never know. So it is really interesting to know that certain products, as much as they are labeled a certain way, maybe not quite fit the standard.
No, and I think that especially with all of these kind of single-use bans and things like that, we'll see more of that. And to be fair, a lot of these companies don't realize that they're not actually compostable, right? They're taking their supplier's word for it and saying, well, you say it's compostable. But pretty well any bio-compostable plastic is not going to be composted because those technically can be. They would have to go to an industrial facility that kind of has the right heat and pressure to break them down. We just don't have any around. It's kind of the same idea with plastic, where only 9% of the plastic in Canada is recycled, and that includes what you're putting in your blue bag. That kind of chasing arrow symbol that we see, it really just means that in theory it could be recycled. It definitely doesn't mean it will be. So we try and do the work at the store here to make sure that the things that you're buying truly are compostable, truly are recyclable. We offer different programs and things, different waste streams where we'll collect certain things from you and send them off to people who truly will recycle them. But it's a bit of a minefield, and there's a whole lot of greenwashing going on, so it can be tough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I believe that. I mean, for myself when I was trying to learn how to just reduce my waste in the first place, the 3 R's, growing up in elementary, you learn the reduce, reuse, and recycle. And the first R is reduce, reducing your
and
consumption.
working in that order, right?
Yeah.
First reduce, then reuse, and if you absolutely have to, recycle. But I think the goal should be just assume that anything you buy that is recycled will not be recycled. Assume that anything that you're putting in any container is garbage, and that's going to help you to kind of make more conscious decisions.
Definitely. And honestly, personally, I've noticed that even just switching to a product that already doesn't use packaging per se, something that uses like a big biodegradable packaging or a paper packaging or a very, very nice cotton packaging. I love a good cotton. When I've gone that way, I've noticed even just taking out the garbage or taking out recycling, my load of what's in that bag has been greatly reduced in the first place. So one thing that I really loved for a while was the lotion bars.
Yeah.
They were perfect, absolutely perfect, extremely nourishing, extremely nice to use, and even just taking less space in my own home and feeling like reclaiming that amount of space for storage or even just moving around, counter space, all that kind of stuff makes a huge, huge difference. And it just feels good as a person. And then on top of that, when you realize you have so much less waste to throw out, it's almost like you feel accomplished.
Well, it's just less stuff to take care of, right? Like I think consuming less and having less reduces the burden on yourself, right? Because it's less to clean, it's less to take care of, it's less to look at, it's less to be overwhelmed by. So that idea of reducing and how much that outside of like your kind of eco footprint, how much that does for you. You're right, in your home, reducing visual clutter. I think a lot of us are so overwhelmed by stuff, right? And when you're buying a shampoo bottle that's going to sit in your shower, it's of course got a label that's designed to catch your eye at the store, right? Which means every time you're going into the shower, you've got this loud label screaming at you. And that's not a super comforting thing to have in your home, right? So by reducing that visual clutter, kind of sticking with label-less things, remove advertising from your own home, right? You already bought it. They don't need to advertise to you. So we like that part about it too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't really want to advertise all the time, especially in my own home. Like, I got it from this great big store. And we love accessibility for a lot of products. But I think the biggest point for us as local Edmontonians especially is that when we shop local, we support our own city and we support our own creatives, we support our own local shops. And it is so easy to do so, especially when our shops are not trying to advertise in our own homes. They're trying to give you something that is for you and becomes yours as soon as you leave with it, which is huge, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Where did you get the inspiration? Like, why zero waste products?
Well, I found there were some options in Edmonton and some options online. I wanted to reduce my own waste. I also have children, and before I started the store, I didn't have children yet, but I knew I was going to have them soon. And I definitely had the intention of using products with them that were safe, that, wouldn't affect their hormones, cause cancers later, like all that kind of nasty stuff. So I had already begun to look into it, and I just found that a lot of the options for zero waste became very counterintuitive. If you're driving to 10 different places in the city and you're ordering from Amazon, then you've pretty much, not always, we just do our best, but you've kind of negated the zero waste aspect of it, right? So to have everything in one place and to have everything researched by someone who, truly is doing their best to provide you with the best options was something that I wanted. And also just to provide a space for people to explore this side of things that is supportive and comfortable and happy to educate and to not kind of talk down to people or make anyone feel that for some reason they should be excluded. We've got people that shop here that are wildlife biologists, that this is their life. And we've got people that shop here that work up north in the oil sands. And both of those people are totally welcome and legitimate in wanting to reduce their own waste, right? So I think the accessibility of it was really important to me as well.
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, when we're talking about accessibility, it's so much easier to go to a store that has everything you need. And then even just having a little bit more. My biggest thing has always been if I can just go to one place and get it all there, I will. You know, I mean, if I want to go grocery shopping, if I want to go gift shopping, if I want to do any of those things, I want to go to as few places as possible. Because I'm trying to put energy into what I'm finding and not into doing like the actual finding, the whole journey of it all, and be tired when you get home, right? So it's just such a huge difference being able to go somewhere local. And like, I mean, if you've seen the store, it is very well stocked in a huge range of different products. So I think like right even over here, you guys have your own products here. So can you tell us a little bit about what the shelf here?
Yeah, for sure. So in the last year, we actually started pouring our own candles. So they are 100% soy wax, North American soy wax. They do use artificial fragrance, but it's vetted phthalate free, so safe for little endocrine systems and even older endocrine systems. So these ones we pour in store, you can burn them at home and you can actually bring the containers back to us and they will be poured and filled and sold again at a discount. This is also a new little one here. I made this the other day for anyone that might want to make candles at home. So if you have existing containers that you really like and you want to fill them again, you can use one of these ones. So this has all the instructions you need. It also has a couple little wicks in there. It has some fragrance. And then same thing, you can bring these containers back to us, or you can also keep them at home and use them for whatever you want because they're pretty nice. My entire pantry is outfitted in these. And these are actually would be a waste product of one of the items that we sell here. Our bulk deodorant comes packaged in these. So we clean them, sanitize them. We use them for display all over the store. We give them away for free because there's absolutely no reason this can't be used again.
Exactly. I really like the idea of using, this is glass, right? So nice and clean and so easy to keep like hygienic and sanitized.
Glass holds up.
How can you like tell us a little bit about the difference between whether you're using plastic or glass when it comes to sanitization?
Glass is a little less porous. I mean, when it comes to sanitization, I think a lot of us get hung up on things being sanitized. Which is certainly not always necessary. Soap and water is more than enough for anything that you're using in your home, unless you have someone that's immunocompromised or there's sickness going through the house. I will say glass, generally speaking, is a lot easier to use. You can wash it with hot water. It's not going to melt. It's not going to warp. So if you are choosing items that you want to use for the long term, like say you're buying bottles that you want to use for your refillables for a long time, I usually do recommend glass. It's just going to be a lot easier on you. It's going to hold up. And in the event that it does need to be recycled, it's much more likely to be recycled. When you recycle plastics, they degrade over time, right? So plastic can really only be recycled once. And then kind of melting it and repurposing it again is going to degrade to the point that it's not even really plastic anymore. So if you were to take this to a recycling facility and they did recycle it, it's going to be melted down. It will keep its integrity and it can be made into something new. So we generally choose glass over plastic, but there's arguments there too. Plastic is a little bit lighter in terms of shipping. So are we saving on emissions when we're shipping things that are packed in plastic? And then how do those emissions fit into the whole carbon cycle? So it's all a minefield. Like it's all, you just do your best, right? Personally, I try and choose glass.
Oh yes, definitely. I personally really like the feel of glass. I just like the way it looks too. I mean, I know you guys have quite a few like different kind of glass containers available, which is nice as well, but we'll explore that in a bit here. Can we talk a little bit more about what you have going on here? These are all local works, right?
Yeah, this is our kind of little local shelf for the holiday season. Doing a zero waste Christmas is really tough if that's something that you celebrate. So we try to bring in a few local options. So we've got like our bowl covers. We've got some really cool ceramics. These ceramics here are actually fired like 2 streets over, so you can't get much more local than that. Wow. We've got like some lovely crochet items over here. We've got some reusable towels. So the idea with this is if you are going to choose to buy new for the Christmas season, you can at least be supporting local. And for the most part, these are actually pretty low waste items. But keeping your money in your local economy is so important. You know, when you shop here, you're paying our employees tuition, you're sending my daughter to daycare, and it's the same with all of these people here. And it feels great when we sell something and we get to pay them and we know that that's staying in our community. So it's a great option for the holiday season. And we do hope that over time the shelf will grow as well as we have more makers approaching us.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. How do you find these people? I mean, like even personally, like okay, this is what we all know that oh wow. Okay. So why don't we just zoom in on me too while we're at it? Hi, my name is Rekha. I am one of the hosts on location. Okay, Gabby, thank you for the prompting. On Location with RG. I have a shopping habit, and sometimes I have difficulty finding wares like these. So what is your secret to like meeting or just finding these ceramicists?
Well, luckily enough, we've been around for a few years now. We have a pretty good social media following. In the beginning of Replenish, it was very tough to find suppliers, right? Because you're approaching people and you have no proof of concept and you don't really know what you're doing. And you're like, can I sell your stuff? And some people were like, no, absolutely not. I don't know you. And then some people took a chance. At this point, we have people coming to us, which is really nice. So we were able to just kind of put out a call on social media and say, hey, are you a local maker? Do you want somewhere to have some of your items out for the, holiday season? And we had a bunch of people approach us, and pretty well everyone that approached us was super aligned with what we do here. Some of them we've worked with in the past. We've carried their products in the past, or in the summer, we offer like a free little pop-up space for people to come in and sell. So a few of them have popped up here. And then, yeah, like I said, a lot of them just found us on social media and reached out, and we were more than happy to stock our shelves with them.
Nice. Yeah, it is absolutely gorgeous to see these kinds of shelves here. And I mean, even looking over here, this is so pretty.
Yeah, it's a cute little pin, a nice little stocking stuffer.
Oh, that's gorgeous. I love that. Yeah. It's so hard for me not to start looking around at things, but I mean, I'm very open about my ADHD, but if you wanted to look at this pin here, absolutely gorgeous, right? Can you tell me a little bit about these? These are very festive looking over here, these candles.
They are very festive, yeah. So I actually just poured these last week for the first time. We had some people saying they wanted like some holiday decor. I was kind of like, well, how do we make that zero waste? So because we were already kind of learning to pour our scented candles, we decided we would try with the pillars. Mm-hmm. So this is, again, 100% soy wax. These ones are unscented just because you probably don't want scents sitting around all the time at home. But we just sell them individually. They're 100% cotton wicks. So when you're burning them, there's no kind of like nasty things going into the air. And then our employees on the weekend set them up with, I believe they just found these outside. Went and found some little pine cones, and then I actually made these last year. They're little dehydrated oranges, so this is how I decorate my house for Christmas. I dehydrate little citrus fruits, and I put them all over, like in my tree. I make little garlands, so that's like our cute little festive setup there.
Nice, that's gorgeous. I've seen a lot of... like just on social media personally, I've seen quite a bit of using citrus fruits and like sticks to make little mushrooms even.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. It's just so cute. And I've just been thinking about it and like how these little DIYs of, using what would otherwise be able to go back to the earth.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And even just the idea of having that creative moment to make something.
Well, I think that was kind of a byproduct of COVID, right? A lot of people are at home and trying to figure out what to do with themselves. So we saw a lot of those little DIY things kind of popping up, and it's been nice to see that DIY culture is kind of endured as we've kind of returned to normal. But we see a lot more people crafting, a lot more people making. Like these little guys, like I said, I made last year or maybe even the year before. and they're still here, right? And really probably will last indefinitely unless my dog eats them.
Yeah.
That does happen every year. We have to make some new ones, but
Of course. I mean, it looks like a delicious little treat. I mean, I would probably even put it in like a punch or something, knowing me.
it's a great little cocktail garnish. I have also done that.
Oh,
Yeah.
such a good time. Can you tell that we're getting really excited for the holidays?
Yeah, it's coming up quick actually. We're less than a month out, and I think it seems big this year. I don't know if people are just kind of excited. Again, maybe a COVID byproduct. Like we spent so many years away from each other. We're getting a little more excited to gather. But we've definitely noticed some kind of early holiday shopping going on around here.
Yeah, personally, I have gotten started with that because I know that I'm going to be a last minute person about it. So I always have to jump on it as soon as possible. If I see something, I'm not going to wait for the sale. I'm just going to get it. It's just easier just to go and get it. It's right there. And then I don't have to, kick myself in the butt to go and get it just in time for wrapping and all
And
that.
I feel like it's a little bit easier to make sustainable choices when you give yourself time, which I am not good at. I say it, but I'm terrible. But a lot of the time when you run out and do that last minute shopping, you're just kind of grabbing whatever. And maybe it's something that isn't very sustainable or it's wrapped in a way you don't like, but you've got 24 hours, so it has to happen. So kind of the earlier you can get started, the better. And I mean, not just with Replenish, but with other small gift shops and local shops, supporting everyone kind of going into the Christmas season. This is a big season for all of us. So getting us through that kind of fall November slump and really pushing those sales through Christmas to get us through the slow New Year is very much appreciated.
Oh, yes, definitely. And I mean, what we could do is look around the shop and show you guys all of the things that Replenish has to offer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we'll be right back in a few minutes here. All right, we're back. So what we're looking to do right now is kind of what should we be expecting when we come into the shop here? Where do you want people to kind of start?
So usually when someone walks through the door for the first time and they say oh, it's my first time visiting, we always say do you want a quick little rundown? Do you want a quick little tour? And we are, of course, first and foremost a refillery. So usually I introduce our refillery tables over here. So we've got 2 of them. This is kind of our cleaning aisle, and in the front of the store we have our personal care aisle. So with this one you'll find your dish soap, you'll find your laundry soap, all-purpose cleaners, that kind of thing. We always let people know they can bring any container they want from home. They can choose any container from our container wall for purchase and kind of to be used indefinitely. And then we also offer a whole bunch of free containers that are donated and sanitized. So if you come in the store and you weren't quite prepared and you don't want to buy a new one, you can certainly choose one of those and we'll fill it up for you. So what happens is you give us your container, we pop it on the scale, we write down how much it weighs. For the most part, we do the filling for you, but if you want to fill yourself, you definitely can. You just let us know what kind of product you might be interested in. So right here are our dish soaps. These are the 2 that we have locally made here. So these are our house brands. There's a lemon, cedarwood, and lavender, and a lemon eucalyptus. So you would say, I want the lemon, cedarwood, and lavender. We can give you kind of a price quote based on the size of your container. We can talk about how they're priced. So this one is priced by 100-gram quantities. We can show you what that looks like because who knows what 100 grams of dish soap looks like, right? So you can kind of have an idea of what you're getting into. We'll fill up for you, we'll weigh it again, and then we subtract that weight that we initially weighed. So you're just paying for the product inside, and then we hold on to it for you at the front, and you get to kind of look around and do whatever you want in the meantime. And outside of our refillables, we also have all kinds of options on our shelves here. So different unpackaged options, things that are wrapped in biodegradable or recyclable items. But really, I mean, we kind of invite anyone that comes into the store to ask lots of questions, pick things up, smell them, try them out, and we're more than happy to kind of guide along the way.
Awesome. How do you kind of do your if people want to try a scent or want to know what something would smell like, what would you do to...
It's pretty simple, pretty analog. We just pop one of these little guys here. We just lift it up. You can give it a little sniff and see if you like it. The great thing about shopping in bulk is you can literally buy any amount. So if someone's oh, I'm really sensitive to different scents, or I have really sensitive skin, or, I really want my dish soap to bubble a certain way. The great thing is you can buy one little like tub full, right? So you could just do one load of dishes, see how you like it, and then come back for more. So sometimes when you're buying in bulk at like Costco or something like that, right? Because you're trying to reduce the plastic and maybe reduce the cost, you're buying 4 liters at a time. So if the first time you use it, you don't like it, you're kind of stuck with it, right?
Yeah.
So we usually recommend, if you are picky about your products and it's your first time refilling, just try a little bit. You can even borrow one of our containers. It's great if you can bring it back. If not, use it at home. But that's just kind of one of the options. Oh,
I think
we do have a customer. Just give me 1 second.
no worries. So the shop here is open right now, and we are live right now. So something that I just want you guys to take note of is the fact that this shop is so local and so inviting that it's really something that you kind of just add into your week. You know, it's so easy to be like, this is where I want to go for all of your needs, really, at this point. So over here we've got some cleaners, right?
Yeah, so like I said, this is kind of like our cleaning and laundry area. So we've got our dish soaps, hand soaps, we've got all-purpose cleaners, floor cleaners, we've got laundry soap, we've got fabric softener. We even have oxygen brightener, which is kind of a cool one to refill. So that's basically the same as OxyClean. So if you have any like set-in stains, anything like that, you can use that. We also have like dishwasher tabs in bulk. I mean, really, anything that you're kind of buying at the grocery store or the drugstore, we should have here. And if we don't, let us know, and we'll certainly take that into consideration because we're always kind of growing what we're offering.
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, the fact that you have such a great array of product to offer is something I didn't know you had like OxyClean stuff, because I personally, as soon as you said OxyClean, I was like, I need that. I've been looking for something to replace like the commercialized version of it, right? So just finding these a little bit of this and a little bit of that for substitutes and making that my main go-to is huge. I mean, oh my gosh, you even have the almond blossom fabric softener.
We do, yeah. We had so many people requesting fabric softener that we had to find it in bulk in Canada, biodegradable, cruelty-free, vegan, phthalate-free, sulfate-free, which is not easy.
No.
But we did find it, and we have 3 cents, so come buy your fabric softener here.
This is what I've been looking. I'm sorry. Of course. Hello, my name is Rekha Kapadia. I am the R in On Location with R&G, and I have a shopping habit. So when I finally find something that I've been looking for this whole time, it is the best thing in the world. I have used the laundry detergent here, and I love it. I've used it on my most delicate of clothing. I do love to wear me a good silk. So I've used the detergent from this shop to wash my silks, and they have come out beautiful, clean, bright. The color still has the integrity to them. And now that I get to pair them with a beautiful fabric softener in the exact scent that I love from here, it's just the best thing in the world. This is a great start to my weekend. It's Tuesday.
There you go.
Yes.
Chugging along.
I love it. Okay, can you please show us a little bit? Oh, you have some more candle scents in here.
Yes, we pour a ton of candles, and we'll be pouring more and more through the holiday season. We sell a ton of them. So you can, I mean, that's the other thing about the store, because we are small. We basically order and stock weekly. So week to week, there's always going to be new products in, or products that we might have been sold out of tend to show up again. And specifically the candles, like I'll probably be pouring more this week because y'all are crazy for candles this time of year. It's cozy season.
Oh, big time. Yes, big time. And then I see you have even more home care and like.
We do, yeah. I mean, depending on kind of what's stocked and not stocked, sometimes we honestly just run out of room on our tables. So right now we've got a few different cleaners here. We've got like a yoga mat spray. We have cleaning vinegar, which is a super concentrated form of vinegar. So really, really good for like your bathroom, lime scale, windows. It's also a great deodorizer. any parents out there that use like silicone bottles or that kind of thing, you can spray a little cleaning vinegar inside, sit it in the sun, and it'll remove any, like, if you happen to leave it in the car for a few days and it's kind of gross, you can revive it. You can save your silicone. So we love our cleaning vinegar here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I actually, I started using silicone like sandwich bags for like my food containers. If I'm not using something that's a glass container, then I'll go for a silicone instead of a plastic bag.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's something that I've been kind of annoyed by is like soaking it in water, putting it through the dishwasher. I'm like trying to get rid of that
Cleaning vinegar is the way to go. So you just kind of let it sit in there for a while, open it up, wash as usual. The other actually really great thing for silicone people don't realize is just sunlight. That's the best way to remove sudden stains. So if you have a silicone that you put like a pasta sauce or something like that in, you've got that red tinge, just sit it out in the sun and that will actually bleach it all away.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, great place to shop. And if you're having difficulty with certain types of products, this is where you want to be. You want to talk to Megan.
We do our best. So we don't know everything, but it has been 3 years. So a lot of this has kind of come up personally, or it's come up with customers. So we do try and research as much as we can.
Awesome. Yeah. Can you take us through a little bit of the skincare that you have to offer here?
Yeah, for sure. So we have our skincare right here on our little personal care table. So we do offer a makeup remover. We've got 2 different types of cleansers here, liquid cleansers. We also have a couple different types of toner. We have a face cream. So those are our refillable options. They're all free of artificial fragrance. They're all very gentle. Obviously, we want to be careful with the skin on our face. We also have some cool things over here for your skin. So these here are actually solid skincare bars. They're serums. They're sunscreens that we've got right here. We also have these guys here, which are masks, clay masks, and they come packaged in cardboard. So you just mix them with a little bit of water, or you can also use Greek yogurt if you have really dry skin. Pop it on, wash it off. We've also got these guys here. So these are solid options for face care. We've got 2 of those. So definitely lots of different options in terms of taking care of your skin here. Again, the really nice thing, especially about the refillable ones, is that you're able to just buy a little bit. So if you are very sensitive, you can come and just get 1 pump, wash your face with it 1 time, make sure you don't have a reaction, and then you can come back and buy as much as you want.
Awesome. Yeah, I've noticed that even for me personally, getting to sample a product first makes a huge difference in, you know, how happy you're going to be with it. And it kind of feels nice to spend a week of just like, I'll try a little bit of this and I'll try a little bit of that.
It helps to reduce waste too, right? Because if you're trying a little bit in a reuse jar, then you haven't bought anything new and you're not going to have a big container of product that's giving you a rash that you're going to have to throw away, right? So it is a great option to, you're right, kind of treat yourself, try some things out, but also reduce that waste that comes along with trying new things.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. What are some products that you would definitely recommend here for people who are just starting out?
I think the best thing you can do when you're starting is really just run out of something and fill it. So some people will think that the best thing to do is get rid of all of their products and come in and start afresh. And that's, for one, quite wasteful, right? Use what you have is kind of the first step. And it's also very overwhelming when you talk about forming new habits and how long that takes, right? And especially like you talk about like ADHD and that kind of thing. To completely overhaul your life is going to be very unsustainable personally, right? So I think the best thing to do is, you know, run out of your dish soap and then come in and try the dish soap, and then run out of your laundry soap and come in and fill your laundry soap, and just let those things come up as they come up. That way you're creating these kind of little micro habits, and eventually, hopefully, you'll be kind of doing your whole refill routine here. And by that time, you'll know how it works. You'll be comfortable to do it. So as far as products to start with, it's really just what do you run out of first? Yeah,
exactly. I always run out of a cleanser. That's always my biggest thing. I'm sure that you have a few different solid cleansers here too, right?
Yeah, we do. So we do carry quite a few local soap bars. We've got these kind of colorful ones on the bottom and then these ones on the top. These, first of all, make great gifts. So if you're looking for stocking stuffers and that kind of thing, that's a great one. We can also kind of walk you through if you have sensitive skin, if you have eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, anything like that. We'll do our best to kind of find you a product that's going to be safe and effective for you. We also have these little fellas. So these are a soap saver pouch, and you can actually pop your soap right into it, and then you can use this as an exfoliator. It's really good when you get down to like the little scraps of soap. You can pop them all in there and make sure that they're getting used up. And then when this kind of gets old and scungy, what I like to do is repurpose it and just use it to clean in a different part of my home. So I might use it to like scrub my bathtub for a while. And then when it's truly falling apart, this can go in your backyard compost. This is actually made of sisal, so it's 100% biodegradable and compostable. So actually a great little stocking stuffer idea right there.
Awesome. And I also see that you have a few products for a great evening of self-care here.
Yeah, we do. So we've got kind of our bath bombs, like your traditional pop it in, watch it fizz. We also have some shower steamers. So the idea with the shower steamer is you actually just pop it right into the bottom of the shower while you're taking a shower. It will effervesce and fizz and release kind of essential oils and that kind of thing. So if you have a stuffed nose, it's great. If you've been out shoveling snow and you've got sore muscles, the eucalyptus is really nice. And for those of us who maybe don't like baths or don't have the time to take a long bath, it's just kind of like a nice little treat for yourself to have like an aromatherapy type situation in the shower.
Oh, I love it. Personally, I've always been the kind of person who runs to eucalyptus any time that I've ever needed. So being able to try a eucalyptus shower steamer is definitely something you need to put on your to-do list. And I mean, come on over to Plenish YEG and you're definitely going to get hooked up with some great options. Can you show us a little bit about what's going on this shelf as well?
Yeah, for sure. This kind of like runs into our hair care section. So we sell shampoo bars here, which are actually a way of just completely eliminating the bottle altogether with shampoo. We do have, I believe, 5 different types of liquid shampoos. So if you're not ready to make the shampoo bar leap, you certainly can do that as well. But we've got shampoo bars for all different hair types, as well as we've got the little conditioner bars that hide behind them there, and then the sample sizes. So the sample sizes especially are great when you're traveling because that way you can bring your shampoo with you and you're not having to worry about going through security. These ones are made right here in Edmonton, actually by a company that we have been working with since we opened and pretty well since they started. And they are now all over the place. They've exploded, and it's just lovely to see brands that we've worked with and worked alongside really succeeding and doing well, especially women-owned brands. So these are a great one. And then over top of it, we've kind of got more of that like self-care vibe going on. We've got our soaking salts. So again, really nice for cold and flu season, really nice when you're out shoveling and it's freezing in your store. You can have a little bath with those. And over top, these are actually new to us and they're very fun. They're bubble powders. So instead of a bubble bath, they've removed all of the liquid from it. You just sprinkle a little bit in and you get really big bubbles. So when they sent us samples for these ones, I thought I would give it a try at home with my daughter. She was having her bubble bath and I did not pay attention when they said how much to use. So I dumped a whole bunch in and I basically had bubbles up to the ceiling. So super effective, really cute, really fun. Again, a nice little gift, and really gentle and safe for like little one's skin, which is nice.
Oh, lovely. Are these different scented or do they produce like the colors?
The color doesn't really produce so much. I mean, they do look pretty nice sitting on your shelves if you've got them in clear containers. But they just, I mean, the bubbles are all the same color. But we also have an unscented, which we do try and offer unscented options in pretty much everything we carry in the store. A lot of people are sensitive to scent, whether it's essential oil or artificial fragrance. And a lot of people, myself included, I just don't use any scent around my kids, especially when they're really little. So that's a nice thing too, is if you know that you're sensitive to scent or you need to avoid it or whatever, we likely offer an option here for you.
Awesome. This is, and then you also have some different, excuse me, constantly getting caught by something different here. I see we've got some dry shampoos.
Yeah, we do actually. Interestingly enough, there was a huge recall on dry shampoos across North America, all different brands, because there was a chemical in them that was found to be a proven carcinogen. And we worry about that, especially with the population that uses dry shampoos. You know, young women, you think about things like breast cancer. So these are a great option to avoid that. And we do sell them in a few different ways. Like we've got these little shakers here, packaged in these compostable tubes. So same thing. When these are used up, you can toss them into your home compost. They'll break down. And we also sell them in bulk. So with the bulk ones, we've seen all kinds of different things coming in. Like sometimes we'll see different shakers. You might reuse an Old Spice container. What I recommend is just putting in a little pot, and actually if you have like an old brush or something like that, you can apply it directly where you need it, and then let it soak in and kind of brush it out. So that's another option that we offer. And you're right, there's so many things that we didn't have in the past, that I feel like now it's so much more fun to do these little tours and that kind of thing, because I feel like there's so many products that people don't know are available in a safer option or in like a zero waste option. But that brings us around to our little deodorant area. So we do have these refillable deodorants. They are by far our most popular. These ones come out of Calgary. And what you can do is bring in any little container from home. We'll get you a little scoop. The nice thing about these, again, natural deodorants can be a little finicky. So you can try just a little bit and see how you do. We also sell these deodorant cubes down here, which is actually what I use right now. So these little cubey guys are essentially just what is inside your plastic deodorant tube. So I just keep mine at home. I keep it actually under a little cloche because I have a dog and I don't want fur in it. But they're super effective. They actually use enzymes. So the enzymes actually break down the bacteria that kind of leads to stink. But like I said, natural deodorants can be hit and miss. So the best thing to do is just try a little bit if you can. We also offer these detox bars. If you've been using kind of a traditional antiperspirant or deodorant for a long time, your pores actually become very clogged by it. And it's good to kind of scrub them out, let them breathe, and let the natural deodorant work in the way that it should.
Wonderful. It's kind of hard not to end up getting lost in shopping right now. I mean, like as we all know, I love to shop. And if you look a little bit more at some of these, the other products that you have to offer, it's nice because it looks like a lot of these things are things you can just buy and keep almost forever, right? What would be like some of the purposes of these different types of brushes here you have to offer?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, depending on your hair type or how you like to use brushes, people are always, a lot of the time we get people saying, well, how does it work? How should I use it? And all of this is really personal, right? So if you usually do use a paddle brush, we've got this one here. We've got these little sandalwood combs. And then these are actually baby brushes. So they're super, super soft for little ones, even when they are hairless before they have hair. If you're finding that you've got issues with like cradle cap or something like that, you can rub this on to kind of help to remove it. But the idea is if one of these becomes lost, if you don't have use for it anymore, it will eventually biodegrade and go back to the earth, right? Because if you're using a plastic brush, and they do last quite a while, so if you have your plastic brush, keep it. But the tines eventually will fall out. It's eventually going to need to be thrown out. These ones are completely bamboo, and then this is actually 100% natural rubber behind it as well, which is an eco-friendly option. So that's our little brushes for now.
Oh, I love it. I actually just had a thought about who I would want to gift something like that to. And I'm like, how sweet would it be for like baby and mama to be matching with really cute brushes? Yeah. Oh my gosh, absolutely gorgeous. So can you take us through a little bit on what would be a really good starter set for people who might want to do skincare?
Yeah, for sure. As far as starting with skincare, I would say if you're buying for someone else, I would go with the solid options, just because those aren't going to have to be refilled. The other option too is you can always get a gift card and kind of explain to them how this all works, right? Because it can be difficult to give things that are so personal. We do over here actually have a few makeup options that can be nice little gifty guys. So we do carry a range of concealers here. So if you happen to know, or maybe even have the same skin color or type as who you're buying for, you can go with one of these guys. They do come in that compostable cardboard again, and they last forever. So those are a really nice little gift. We've got different lip balms here. So these ones are vegan. And then we also have these ones that are a little more local. These ones come from Red Deer, but they do use beeswax. So if you are vegan, not the best option. We've also got like bronzers, we've got blushes, we've got eyebrow wax. This is one of my favorite items in the store. I am not good at makeup and I never really know what to buy, but I bought one of those. It's lasted me well over a year and I find it's like a really gentle and effective item. We also have this mascara here, which I haven't used yet. I know our co-owner has and she raves about it. So this one comes in a glass tube, and once it's empty, it can actually be returned to us, and then we will send it back to the manufacturer. It will be sanitized, refilled, and resold again. So we've got a closed loop system on those. We also have these really lovely little perfumes here. So these are solid perfumes. They come out of Calgary, and you would just kind of put these on your pulse points. And then it works the same way as regular perfume does. Once they're all used up, again, they can be composted, which we love. So as far as gifty type things, if you have someone that's like into skincare, into makeup, into that kind of stuff, I would say this is your section. And as we kind of approach the holiday season here too, if you're coming in and you're like, well, I know I'm buying for someone who really kind of believes in the zero waste ethos, or I want a gift and also be ethical, like just let us know and we're more than happy to kind of walk you through some ideas.
Okay, awesome. This would be a great place if you're thinking of like trying, as being a little bit more sustainable in your home, or even just for the holidays here. Because I definitely am looking around and seeing a lot of different products that I have personally tried out and absolutely loved. I think one of my favorites is probably, we didn't mention it, but one of my favorites here is probably the, like the reusable silicone, what are the cute, swabs? Yeah, the cotton swabs, those ones.
They're actually just right here. I can show them to you. So we've got these little guys to replace traditional cotton swabs. So they're just silicone on bamboo, and they have this like handy little click to close situation going on. So there's a few different options with them too. Like this would be your little ear cleaner, right? Because it's got the buds, and then you can just rinse it, clean it with water, and put it away, reuse it indefinitely. And there's also these ones here for anyone that does apply makeup, so you can kind of clean up your eyeliner. I've also used this one even to clean electronics, like you can get into the little nooks and crannies. So these ones are also a really nice little gift or a nice little stocking stuffer. And the price point is great. It's $12.50, right? And to last you indefinitely. So, I mean, how many containers of Q-tips does I actually don't know what the equivalency is, but it will replace them.
I love that. A big thing that I try to do for myself is always invest in something that I can use for as long as possible. So especially when it comes to like a cotton swab, or even, I think these over here, these cotton rounds even. I've gotten some of my friends and family onto reusable cotton rounds.
Yeah, so those ones can be used in any way that you would use kind of a regular cotton round. Other than maybe nail polish removing, that might be a job for paper towels still, unfortunately. But these little guys come with a little bag. So you would just apply like your makeup remover, whatever you're kind of using on these, use it up, pop it in the bag. Once the bag is full, you put the whole thing into the washing machine. Because these little guys like to get stuck in washing machine seals and they tend to get lost. So keep it in the bag, wash it, take them all out, set them up again, and just kind of use and wash them indefinitely. And then you don't have to be buying those little plastic sleeves of cotton rounds anymore.
Awesome. So I think maybe we could even go through a little example of what it's like to get something refilled here. I personally need to do some shopping, and since we're live, I cannot be stopped. So this is my opportunity. Let's kind of show the viewers what it would look like to refill the number one thing I need right now, my fabric softener in the almond blossom.
Here. So definitely if you had a container from home, you could use that. Do you want to like buy one of our nice ones? Do you want to use a donated one? Whatever works for you.
I think I'm going to go with you know what? Let's splurge on a really nice container, a nice amber one.
So usually for the laundry detergent, I mean, it depends on how many people live in your house or kind of what you're buying. This is what I use personally because I find it's pretty manageable for me, and that's for a family of 4, and this will last me about a month. Otherwise, we've got these big guys down here as well. What do you think would kind of...
I think I want to go with maybe the smaller one
Smaller?
to start.
Yeah, for sure. So this is our little 32-ounce bottle. This is about a liter worth, so I can actually show you how we might estimate how much this will cost. We know this is about a liter, and we have our fabric softener priced at 45 cents for 100 grams. So it's going to be about $4.50 worth of product to fill this all the way to the top. Which is, yeah, it's not bad, right?
That's it? Let's go.
I love when that happens. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to weigh this little guy. Actually, no, I'll weigh it over here. So we
Okay.
5 pounds for you guys. So we pop it on our scale. It weighs 498 grams. Okay. We'll fill it up. We'll see how close we get to that liter that I mentioned. That's always kind of the game here. So we fill it up for you. So these pumps, we try and use personally as much as we can, and we do sanitize with isopropyl alcohol in between. The nice thing about using a pump like this is it's one way, right? So we're not seeing bacteria and germs go back inside. Once these guys become emptied, it's the same thing. They get sanitized and refilled, and we do keep track of the lot numbers. So if you ever have a reaction to one of our products or have concern that maybe it wasn't working well, if we can look up when you bought it, then we know what the lot number is, and we can check with the manufacturer and just make sure that everything is above board. This guy got a little foamy, and that'll happen sometimes, so don't get all the way to the top. So let's give it away. Here's 904 grams. Not bad. I thought it would be 1,000.
Well done. Well done.
So once it's all weighed, we just go ahead and we pop it up front for you. A lot of times you might want to kind of continue to look around. You might have other things to buy. So we'll hold on to it, but then when you're ready to go, we just ring you through.
Right here, right at the front.
Right here, right at the front.
Oh, and I see you have your photos of when you guys first started out.
Yeah, so we actually took these ones from a magazine clipping from when we first started. And you can see we had exactly one shelf, which can now be found in our big wall of shelves. And we had one table, and I think we maybe had 15 refillable products. So when we started, we didn't really borrow a whole bunch of money. We just used what we had. We were doing the weekend only thing. Truly, we had no idea what we were doing or getting into. But we did find that even in this like weird little place that was hard to find and kind of awkward, our core customers really did support us. And now that we're here, it's become so much easier and so much more accessible, and we offer so much more. So it's been really humbling actually to see the city kind of embrace something like this.
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, like being able to come to a place that is so unique and carries such a wide range of products is absolutely wonderful. And I mean, even just coming in here, the atmosphere is absolutely gorgeous. It's so warm and wonderful in here. And if you're a plant mom or a plant dad, you're going to love the plants that are in here as well. So it's just a really nice way to start a sustainability journey or a zero waste journey when, you know, it's something that you've been curious about for a while. And if you get the chance to meet Megan or Corinne, then you're really lucky to get to meet people who can kind of help you on your journey. So Megan, do you guys have, what is your social media that people can find you at?
Yeah, so you can find us at replenish.zerowaste on Instagram and TikTok. We are on Facebook, just search Replenish Zero Waste. You can find our website, replenishzerowaste.ca, and that does ship kind of across North America, not our bulk products, but any of our kind of little grab and go guys. We are pretty active on our social media. We hire amazing university students here with like backgrounds in English and graphic design. So if it's beautiful, it's not me, it's them. But we do post very regularly. We post about new items coming in. We post about eco-friendly kind of things going on around the city. So I would definitely check it out if you are a social media user.
What should you look out for?
Look out for, I guess, going into the holiday season, we're going to be doing our best to kind of take some of the mental load off of you, if we can, provide you with some options for different kind of stocking stuffer type things. You'll see we've got like more candles coming out. We did our pillar candles, but we've got some really cool tapers that I'm hopefully pouring this week. So yeah, be on the lookout for new products. Some cool TikToks. Like I said, those university students working hard, using those degrees. And then of course we are super responsive on our social media. So if you ever have questions about products in the store, if you have questions about other kind of low waste alternatives in the city, just reach out. We're more than happy to help you out.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much for joining us on our live stream at Replenish YEG. Replenish is located on, what was your guys' address again?
We are at 9912 77th Ave. So that is in the West Ritchie area, actually on Happy Beer Street. So if you're a beer lover, you might recognize our street. We are in between about 5 or 6 different breweries here, just off White Ave.
Perfect. I mean, that makes it even better for a nice little shopping day. You can go have yourself a little bite, a little drink, and come on over and shop away. My name is Rekha. I am the R in On Location with R&G. We have Gabby behind the camera today. And thank you guys so much for joining us for our live stream today. And we hope to catch you for our next one. See ya.